Anyone? Yes? Yes? Thank you. Last chance for champagne before the toast. Are people going? Yes? No? There's no cream cheese for the toast. It was a question that was just asked of me. I'm Rob Coleman. Yeah, we're gonna go. Come on, Michelle. Come on. It's getting better. Careful. I've been searching for a couple of weeks for a metaphor. I'm not sure why I needed a metaphor, but I decided I needed a metaphor to describe how I feel about my best friend, the groom. He's got the hat on. Christian Seppa. And I thought maybe about, a caterpillar that becomes a chrysalis, and then finally a butterfly. But somehow that seemed inappropriate. And settled finally on a planetary metaphor.
No, Venus. Pluto is not a planet.
I thought, frankly, that a planet in our solar system was probably insufficient. That was earlier today, and I thought something like a sun, maybe the next level up, which is a group of suns, around which things orbit. Because I was trapped by Christian's gravitational pull, and it has nothing to do with his size. I was trapped by Christian's gravitational pull almost exactly 24 years ago to this day. And since that time, I've watched many others be gathered into his orbit. Here you all are. And finally, Tracy gathered into Christian's orbit. And Christian, for 24 years, has been a fantastic friend, loyal, thoughtful, fun, never saccharine or bland, always there for me when I needed him, and occasionally needing me and us to help him through hard times. And so what I would like to see and for us to toast for Christian and Tracy is double my 24 years of friendship with Christian, 48 years, please, togetherness for Christian and Tracy.
I'm Michelle. I'm Tracy's sister, little sister. I should have gone first because I don't like public speaking and I don't have a metaphor. I haven't thought that far ahead. I just found out 10 minutes ago that I had to do this. So I have, for 32 years, I've had the best, most loving sister. She's been a friend. And I'm happy, and she does not have a mean bone in her body. I know this because I do. So, she definitely doesn't. I'm not all mean, but you know. And she's not a mean bone on her body, and she's always loving, and I'm happy that she met someone that is like she is, loving and not mean. Not a mean bone in his body. So I love Christian. We all love Christian. We found out about him about 2 years ago when she was supposed to move down to San Diego. My mom called me on the way to the airport and she said, well, I think Tracy's got a boyfriend. And moms always know, I had no clue. And then mom called me from the airport and said, well, Tracy just called me and she says, I have to meet her boyfriend. So, and my mom was going up there to move her down to San Diego. And then they went out to dinner and Christian wowed them. And even though Tracy was making a rash move and deciding to just stay in Portland instead, my mom called and said, he's delightful! And I said that to the same thing. And I met him and I said, yes, he is delightful. So, and we were all happy with her decision to stay in Portland. And 2 years later, almost 2 years later, here we are, or maybe a little bit over 2 years later, here we are. So, cheers to a happy and long life together.
Rob, I gotta take a cheek to cheek shot. You're good. Right there. Yeah! Great. Yeah, I love it. Thanks.
Oh my God. Good job.
Christian, Tracy, hello. They're busy. Lovely bride and groom. I have to impart to you the most precious piece of advice that I've ever been given and that I've ever given from my grandfather, Grandpa Jim. Christian, turn to your beautiful bride and say, I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Tracy, turn to your handsome groom and say, I'm sorry. You're right. That was pretty much just awesome. If you had followed my advice, now you've already said you're sorry for your first argument. I hope that you are forever happy and the sorries come easier as your arguments get stranger. And I love you.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is not God!
Hello. So I really was not going to say anything because the people that live here listen to me a lot already. Well, then you fake it really well.
We hear you. We're not listening. We hear you.
No, you don't listen to me, Cody. But something that Tracy's sister said and Rob said kind of inspired me. I've known Christian for as long as 20 years, or like 19 years. I've been here 20 years. I met him a year after I moved here. Thanks to Mr. Visnick, who brought me into the world of the Reedies. And you are a tribe. You are a beautiful tribe. I know so much about your history. I feel like I was at Reed the day that Christian pulled up in his Porsche, in his pink Lacoste shirt with the collar up. I wasn't there, but I feel like I was there. And I've heard so many stories, none of which I will repeat because I have great respect for you. But I've known Christian over the years, and I've watched him grow, and then I watched him maybe kind of stall, and then he'd maybe grow a little more in a whole new direction, and then kind of stall. And as that's going on, I meet Tracy, and I get to know her, and she is, as her sister said, I really was thinking about it. I was like, wow, she doesn't have a mean bone in her body. She is pretty much one of the kindest people that I know. And when they got together, and I was very fortunate enough to be at the party at which their orbits started to circle one another. You know, we were like, wow, oh, okay. But she's moving, you know. And then she wasn't all of a sudden. And then she was moving to Portland. And then they were actually living in the same apartment for what was supposed to be a really short time. And we were like, really? We love you. Is this a good idea? And everyone was a little nervous, I'll be honest with you. And then Christian started to grow. In a new
There are children here.
and a beautiful, oh, you're get your mind out of Reed, you just grew back. So he started to grow in these new and wonderful, I mean, the guy bought a house. The guy had a steady job. Who was this new man? And that is the epitome of what two people who take this step are supposed to represent and what they're supposed to do for one another. You are supposed to bring out the absolute best in the other person, and they're inspired by you. And since the day that you dragged your butt back to Portland, Tracy, which I am so grateful to you, Christian, for bringing her back down here, you have done nothing but be examples of that. And I look so forward to watching you continue to bring out the best in one another and the best in your community. Congratulations.